Good day all and welcome to Obidati Family TV. The program now Hope Alive. Yes, Hope Day. Even our principal tell us say make we no despair at all. Say this time around no be the time to look back myself, but now to the go forward. So my people, well-meaning obedience and Nigerians will be said in their worldwide agree to on a morning, afternoon, evening, depending on our time zone. We don't come again because the judgment where they give us where they very erroneous the other day, we don't get the certified true copy of that very judgment, and we don't begin to dissect them. Plenty pages there, and we go give on the link where we go get access to that very judgment. Make you not be saying that only us they see waiting the right for inside, but make it for reach everybody, make everybody know say yes. Mistake they justices, our judges, they make mistake because with the talk say with the study electoral act and the regulations where INEC bring where follow them, but they no say with the day prepare for them. Will they go that very judgment page by page against waiting then talk for that very day, all recorded. If you go for Obidati Family TV, you go see say now for hours. Now we record that thing. We know our data born, but we know mine. But we make sure say we get every word we come out from their mouth for that very day, and we go start to dissect them for this very place. We get our Maxwell way there for Zoom. But before I get to them, we go begin to analyze this judgment. And other things so be say they follow with the lie and the erroneous things so be say they talk inside. I no go fail to mention one where we say I won't quote Tsammani. The BVAS was only meant for verification and accreditation of voters and not meant to be used to transmit the result to the INEC IREV. Now quote, end of quote. Justice Tsammani. We go bring them as then take talk calm. And before we enter into that very judgment documents and page by page where we want talk, summarize them, we want make we hear waiting our principal, His Excellency P2B. For some people will be say they never hear waiting in talk. I won't bring the message where we bring to all obedience and supporters and well-meaning Nigerians worldwide. I won't bring them before I go come back to UC Maxwell make you for analyze all these things where we say with the enter. Let's start with it say despair is not an option. My dear obedient family and supporters, I trust that you all have listened to or read my reaction to the judgment delivered by the Presidential Election Petition Court on Wednesday, 6 September 2023. Understandably, there has been a note of general disappointment within our fold and indeed the general population of Nigerians who hope that the outcome of the February 25th presidential election will usher in a new and different Nigeria of our dreams. That dream has only been deferred for now, but remains alive for all times. Since the tribunal verdict, there has been a note of general despair among the obedience and the generality of our supporters. I assure you all that on this journey, despair or surrender is not in our options. Today, I want to personally reach out and encourage you all to keep hope alive, considering the challenge that lie ahead of us as a movement. Despair is not an option. Nothing good in life comes easy. Throughout history, positive changes come only with sacrifices and perseverance, resilience, and fluctuating fortunes. Right from the onset of our journey, I told you all that the journey upon which we were about to embark was not a short sprint, but a long, tough marathon. It was always going to be difficult, painful, excruciating. We set out knowing fully well that the forces we are up against are entrenched and formidable, but not insurmountable. They will resist the wind of change and try to push us into surrender or despair. We must not succumb to their design. I am inspired that we have endured the odds placed in our way. At every point, in such a short space of time, we have persevered to get to the point where we cannot be ignored any longer. Therefore, I urge you to abide and never think of giving up. I wish to assure you that our recent disappointments have inspired me to rededicate myself to the cause of building a new Nigeria. For me, rescuing Nigeria is a lifelong commitment, and on this journey we shall be resolute but orderly, principled but lawful. I assure you that we shall persist with even greater determination and zeal until we get to our destination. Nigeria must belong to all Nigerians and not to a select few. Like all of you, I believe fervently that a new Nigeria is possible. God bless you all and God bless Nigeria. Signed, Peter Obi. Na so our principal take talk am, and na so he go take be. The person wey go follow me to discuss all these things today for studio and on Zoom, na me stand gidigba for studio and I get UC Maxwell for Zoom. UC Maxwell, abeg greet our people, make we not dey go.
All right. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, Mr. Kanu. It's a pleasure to be here once again to discuss these issues. Thank you very much for having me. Okay.
You don't see how our principal don't talk, say make we know despair. That's why even today, yes, some people don't weak. Even people when we say then they work with me for studio, some of them they are hope, don't they? But when they come out every day, now hope our life now would they give. So nobody say as they no day with me today, say they don't despair. As our principal take talk, make we know despair. But now leave, say make them go rest. Say then go soon join me again. You understand? Like tomorrow next now, then go join me. So today I come out because my eye no close, just like our principal talk. So I just want your comment for this hope where our principal talk say they are alive. Say make we they keep them burning. Make we keep them alive. Just give me a few words on this before we enter for that their erroneous judgment where then come out give Nigerians.
Well, nothing much to say. The thing we did here be say for us to don't fight this battle reach this moment. It show you say we did very, very strong enough to carry on to the end. And the same thing with everybody who they hear my voice. For everybody to don't put in effort, do everything we they feel do, see say we reach this moment. You know, say if person reach this kind of stage, he can't give up. It means say he not even ready for the battle from the beginning. If even better say he not even start at all than say he reach this kind of stage, he can't give up. So we they ready to keep the thing they go to make sure say we fire on to the end till the Supreme Court verdict, and even when we will rejoice after we collect back this mandate.
Okay, thank you for that very one. And our people will be saying that they watch us worldwide, all well Nigerians and obedience, wherever on a day. On a don't hear how our own principal high intake address us say make we keep the hope alive. The promise when I won't give on I be say every day, even if I know if you come out 2 or 3 times, I go come out at least once, make I they bring out the hope where we say we they give. And the wrong things where we say then they do for this country where we say we need to correct. Because we not be say we they come out sake of say Peter Obi na fine pass or na holy pass. But we they come out sake of say our country bad and they hold us hostage for this country, and we won't write them. And the person when we select will be saying go correct those things for the new Nigeria where we talk. Now His Excellency Peter Obi. So from this one, make we waka enter other things. I hear say this our own comrade Aisha talk, and I say make I go see him because you know say YouTube channel get as e be, but I get the information wey she dey say since yesterday in the morning, because it be like saying in the evening now we get that very certified true copy of the judgment. Now within 2 days where Haruna Tsammani talk say in the sacrosanct say we must file our appeal, and if we no file our appeal, in go still use the same technicalities when use the dismiss plenty of our witnesses take strike them out. By his own words, in talk say the days wey be say dem give to file this appeal to Supreme Court say e dey sacrosanct. Now we don stay how many days? 2 days, 24 hours. We no see that. I wan find out whether these 2 days wey be say e pass, dem go remove am first before we even go to the judgment wey dey very erroneous wey we go check now, and Maxwell go tell us. So Maxwell, abeg help me digest these 2 days, abi 3 days wey we don miss, and dem talk say e dey sacrosanct. Make we start from beginning dey talk am now. This we don miss 2 days, abi 3 days. When they no give us this copy, because we just they get the certified true copy of the judgment when we go use file our own appeal to the Supreme Court. I beg, make you let me and other obedience know. Maxwell, you hear me, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Did you get my question?
Okay. Yes, I got your question. Okay, the thing we did there, we say it did very very unfortunate. Say the court took about 2 months or close to 2 months to draft these judgments. They write all these judgments within this period, and they come read these judgments for TV for more than 12 hours. That judgment ended at about 9:42 p.m. or 9:40 p.m. thereabout. For judgment where they start like around 9:30 or about the same time in the morning. And after reading these judgments, and Justice Tsammani tell people say the copy of this judgment will be available by the following day. It beats my imagination. Say it take them up to 72 hours to provide the judgment. 72 hours, you know, say when they start to read judgments, immediately they don't fix date for judgment. Now that time, 90 judgments already. And for that, from that day, they count. So you see, say this is not deliberate attempt to frustrate the lawyers for this case. This is not deliberate attempt to frustrate the parties waiting for this case. Take of say how you go use over 2 months take write judgment, can't use over 12 hours take read judgments. And you know print the judgment ready for petitioner, which suppose get 14 days to take appeal in case. Now, as it be like this, because of the court, 3 days don't go inside the petitioners 14 days where they want to take appeal the case. And you don't see them. These judgments, they as much as I think 478 pages or so, where that judgment be. You go imagine this kind of thing where we say, sorry, not be 400, 798 pages. Now that judgment be 798 pages. So imagine say lawyers supposed to read these documents, study the documents, extract waiting they want to take file their appeal. You can't delay them, waste 3 days, waste 72 hours for inside their time. This is unethical and totally unprofessional. This thing should not be heard of from our justice system. Because we don't already they vex say the way they take do the matter, where they take elongate the matter, they no give judgment all this while and everything. Where they say they even swear person in when they never even finish case where they for court. Yet they still they frustrate the people. Mr. Kanu, you go remember saying now exactly the same thing. Now INEC do. When we go court, they ask for documents. They even issue subpoena tell INEC make them provide documents. INEC refused. Even on the final day when the petitioner supposed to close their case, now INEC carry documents, they come court. These things does not help us. It does not help our electoral jurisprudence. It does not help our cases in court. It does not help our justice system. And it can me say nobody talk about that. Nobody frown against them. Nobody even reprimand anybody. It is actually unfortunate. And I beg, may these things not continue to happen. As it be like this, it don't affect the work rate and productivity of the lawyers. But I believe say they go still put in efforts, they carry the matter go Supreme Court within the main dates.
Yes, so and aside from that, Maxwell, the thing where I want let our people know, say now until you call people out or shout on them before things go happen. So then go talk say, social media is doing this, social media is doing that. But it took the will of our own Red Aisha to start to they talk about their timing and the sacrosanct and everything where you talk there before we now see that very certified true copy to come out. Make you hear how Aisha take ask the question, because she keep hitting the point about that very day this man was very deliberate about the timing of filing and all that. Let's take a listen from our own comrade Aisha, how it took her own will, to come out and talk about it before even that this thing was able to come out. So what did I tell our people say? Now, not be only to talk. Sometimes is to act. Let's take a listen from what our own comrade Aisha did to make that sure that that very certified true copy came out for our lawyers to start working. Let's take a listen.
This message is for Justice Haruna Tsammani. I sat down 13 hours in the Court of Appeal listening to the judgment that you and your colleagues passed. I sat down. It was a moment to gloat, to glow, to be joyous and say all you had to say. You were the main actors. And the rest of us were there as spectators, listening quietly to you, right? And with my 2 ears and my eyes looking at you, I heard you when you with all joy, say to the counsel, to one of the petitioners, when they asked you for the judgment, whether you have this, when you said, oh, you make it available to them. And when they said, there was something you said also, by the time you were giving that judgment, that it is sacrosanct, the time for appeal, that you are not going to, of course, that's what the law says, so we know it's sacrosanct, that there's not going to be any case where they are going to add any days to someone. So why is it that up till now, the judgment has not been given to the counsels, to the petitioners to do what they needful? Whatever they want to do, even if they want to just look at it and be staring at it, is it not time for them to have it? The same you that was gleefully telling them that it's sacrosanct, is it not sacrosanct for there to be competence from the tribunal? Isn't the tribunal itself supposed to be sacrosanct in the way it does its things? If you knew the judgment was not ready, you had not finished putting everything down, it was not ready in a way that immediately after your judgment, you are either giving it to them or you are uploading it to your website, why then did you give a judgment? I listened to you severally when you were using the word that, oh, it seems the witness invented. So me now that I am a witness, that I saw you and I was looking at you, I am thinking, it seems you invented the fact that let there be this tactical delay that we eat away into the days that are supposed to be used to file whatever appeal or whatever it is to the Supreme Court or whatever anybody wants to do. I sat down there, for 13 hours, listening. At one time, I was wondering, what kind of words are these? I thought, or is this going to be part of the judgment? Is it what the judgment is, what is being said? Because it was almost as if, was I in the market, just hearing plain? I think it was Lord Denny that said, words, words are these. There's a quote by Lord Denny where he talked about how judges are supposed to use words, sort of like that we flow. They were the kind of words you were using. You were wondering whether you were in court or you were at the motor park or you were in the market, or you were in the village square where people were just throwing words anyhow. It doesn't matter. It's your right to do what you want to do, where you want to do it. But when it comes to issue of competence, when it comes to issue of sacrosanct, the way you use, when you talk about it is sacrosanct that the number of days will not be increased for anybody. Why then are you eating into the number of days? Why then are you eating? For me, Aisha Yusuf, I am an active Nigerian citizen. I speak for myself, and I use this my mouth to speak on my own behalf as a witness.
Okay, so we had this video was actually longer. She spoke for a while. Interesting. But why, aside from the fact that she, hit back on Justice Tsammani for that very sacrosanct big grammar and all that, but it is coming out again to make it pronounced for people to know that we, as at yesterday or as at 48 hours or 72 hours, like Maxwell has said, we had not gotten the certified true copies, and the timing may not be the same. When you reach where they go use their technicalities again, we go know how we go handle that one. But now make we enter inside the judgment. As Maxwell take talk, that judgment na 700 and something pages. So no be small thing. Now when you read, you go calm down. You go come out the side where they do their lie inside. We will come talk them. So we go bring them out part by part, because as even Aisha take talk now, I no one talk about how many hours we'll be saying all of us, you don't listen to that thing attentively. So with that one, make we enter to that very section for page. I want to take them page by page. So Maxwell, you get the place where we say for the CTC, it be like saying now for page 233. The way where they take explain or Tsammani take giving judgment within the as a concerned BVAS, so the result, the polling unit, the collation, it be like say the thing no gel with waiting we see for the INEC regulations. Recall say them talk say na INEC na them be the people where we say them go talk how they want collate, and we don't see for as you explain them how the Electoral Act take bring their own thing. So would they bring this thing make you for analyze to us as waiting you see inside this certified true copy against the areas where concern this area for the Electoral Act and the INEC guidelines, as then they make we for digest and to our people to know say these justices then they commit error. Whether then they agree say error day. Now when we get to Supreme Court, now we go know whether then go talk whether error day or not. So make you help us with those explanates for those pages where we say we don't find out say their utterance is no day okay with waiting Electoral Act and INEC guidelines talk.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, if you look at that page 233 of the judgment record of the Court of Appeal, now you will see say the judge, they try as much as possible to throw away the argument of the petitioners. We talk say the petition has been argued say before anybody will start to collate, say he is supposed to use waiting day for collation system and for IRF take check whether that thing where you want collate whether it is correct or not. And you know the arguments where the petition has been they bring them under section 64 subsection 4, and they still bring them under the provisions of section 38, clause 38 and clause 48 of the regulation and guidelines. But when the courts been they answer this judgment, it is unfortunate say the court decide to jump some parts. The court decide to use some parts, but they can't jump some parts. Now waiting can they there be say the question be say waiting they jump and waiting they skip. So let them bring out the regulations and guidelines where they show clause where they show clause 48. Yeah, clause 48. So that we go look at where clause 48 for the regulations and guidelines of for the conduct of election. Okay, now I'm there for So for this particular clause 48, the law talks say an election result shall, and make I first of all explain this thing, given away they listen to me. Now, when provisions they for law, we be say they don't number them 1, 2, 3 like that. The right thing to do be say, especially when the thing they talk about process or procedure, the right thing to do be say now to follow the procedure from number 1, go number 2, go number 3. So for this clause 48, if you look there, it talks say an election result shall only be collated if the collation officer ascertains that the number of accredited voters agrees with the number recorded in the BVAS and votes scored by political parties on the electronically transmitted or transferred directly from the polling units as prescribed in these regulations. Now, for here, waiting this place, they talk, be say, before any collation officer go start to dey collate results, in go first of all check whether the number of accredited voters wey dey for a record. No, go back to that place. We still dey talk about that clause 48 sub A. He go make sure say the number of accredited voters wey they don write for the results, wey dey for the BVAS, and say the votes wey dey for the result sheet, say e dey correct with wetin they don already upload, wey they don already transmit, wey they don already transfer go the collation system and the IREV. Now the first step be this. So now we go the next one where they show paragraph B. So carry us go that next one. So within clause 48 for paragraph B, come they talk be say, if a collation or returning officer come determine say the results wey dey for the lower level of collation say e no dey correct, you know say the first one talk say im go use am take check whether e dey correct. Now the first process be that. The second process be say when he come look am, come see say e no dey correct, so the next thing wey he go do be say he go use the results wey they don transmit go the collation system take announce results. So wetin that one dey tell you? That one dey tell you say even the paper wey collation officer hold for hand no be the authentic copy if they see say e no dey correct. If they carry from EC8A from polling unit go give collation officer go first check collation system or IREV. He go check for the collation system whether the one wey in dey for in hand, the hard copy, whether it dey correct. Now if he come be say e no dey correct, he go come drop that one wey dem give am for in hand, he go come use that one wey dem transmit go collation system. Now he go come take do wetin, take announce the results. You see say the one wey dey for collation system dey very very important. Now wetin e mean be that? So now we come look wetin C dey talk. C come talk say if no results, if they no transmit any results electronically go collation system, that's from this thing, then they go come go clause 93. Say na clause 93 now they go come take announce the result. So now we come go clause 93, see what in clause 93 they talk. So I don't give now the first two procedures. Say number one, say he go check the original copy where them bring, come give them from EC8A, he go check what in they upload. If this one where they for in hand, he dey correct, he go continue to the use and take announce. But if he know they correct, he go drop that one, he go use the one where they for collation system. Then the third step comes to say if the one where they for in hand, he know they, the one where they for where they upload go collation system no dey, so they go use waiting dey for 93. So more see waiting they come talk for clause 93. Clause 93 can say where the INEC hard copy of collated result, the one where they for hand, no dey. The collation officer say he go use the one where they electronically transmit, take continue. He see they reply that thing. Now he come to say where the two of them no dey, that is the one where they carry from polling unit go give am, e no dey. The one where they upload go collation system, say e no dey. Say the next thing where they go do be say they go collect the duplicate copy where they don't give Nigerian police and political party agents. So it means that before you go do this third step, so what I just read for you for clause 93. So you're supposed to don't first do the first one. If the first one not dey correct, you go do the second one. If the second one not dey available, then you go come here, come do this one. So now we go back to that court judgment again, that number 1 picture where you been bring, so that we go check.
Yeah, it's there.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I don't know, you see, if I say, okay, if I say the one way I've been look for my own screen, no day again, but I will look the one way there for my phone. So, if you read this particular judgment, when the court, they read the judgment, because the lawyers of the petitioners don't come out, come talk, say, my lord, the first thing where they supposed to do before they collate, they say, they go check wetin they upload book collation system, whether it dey correct with wetin dey for hand. My lord, they no do this one. Now within the petitioners they talk be that. And even when they no do them, they no still even do the second one. But instead of the courts to look their arguments, we talk about the first procedure and the second procedure, the court can't jump am, do like say they no see them at all. That is for that clause 48. The court can't jump A, the court jump B, they can't jump go C. Can't they tell us say they suppose use the one where they for party agents hand. But that third process not being supposed come first. It just like say you carry last born for a house, carry and they give title when the first born, second born, third born still they are alive. Now waiting we see for this judgment be this. The first thing where they supposed do, according to this thing what we don't read, for clause 48, for clause 93, and even if you go section 64 for that particular electoral act, you go see say all waiting the talk be say yes, you go collate, you go announce, but before you collate or announce the results, waiting you go first do be say you go check waiting they don't upload. This thing where they upload, if they correct with it in my hand, but INEC no agree do this thing. Number 1 be say INEC no agree upload. INEC no agree upload. INEC no agree check. INEC no even agree, make them tell them, make them check. They no even collect agent's copy. They no even collect the copy where they for Nigerian police hand. And this one means say they no comply with the law. But the court don't close eyes for all this particular thing where they write for clause 48 A and B. Congo jump go clause 48C. Say the one where they uploaded no the importance. And we don't see say the one where they upload go collation system is very, very important. Because the one where they upload go collation system, if it corrects, even the one where they for hand, they go through him. Now waiting the law talk be this, not be me talk am, and we don't see them for here. So when you look the number 2 thing for page 234, I don't know whether they don't okay, now in there for here. When you look what's in the contact for there for page 234, they say the said clause 93 of the regulations, which I had earlier quoted above, provides that where the INEC had copy or collated the results from the immediate lower level does not exist. But we see say no be the case be that. The one where they collate for lower level, it dey existence. The problem they say they no upload for collation system. So there was clearly non-compliance. And for the court to come, they tell us say the petitioners no prove this thing. It get as it be. It truly get as it be. And now why Peter Obi don't come and come to say he must appeal these judgments go Supreme Court, because he believes say the Court of Appeal justices no look the law well before they come to this conclusion. Thank you.
And again, you know, say the quote will be say I quote before for Haruna Tsammani, where give the judgment. He said the BVAS was only meant for verification and accreditation of voters and not meant to be used to transmit the results to the INEC IRF. Now so the law talk, because I know say no be so e be.
Anybody where they talk this particular, see, Mr. Kanu, you know my problem. You know my problem for this whole thing. If they do me like say we we prefer to dey take 15 steps backward, then we no go take any step at all forward. Because now wetin I dey see for here. Mr. Kanu, you know say before they make any law, we suppose know the intention of the law. Wetin make them make that law? No be say we no get electoral act before. We get electoral act for 2006. We get electoral act for 2010. All of these laws dey existence and now they don't use the conduct election. But the lawmakers come reason see say between the period of carrying result from polling units go collation center, they manipulate results. Now they come say how we go take solve this problem. Wetin they can do? They can bring technology into our electoral process. Wetin that technology can talk? He say they go use BVAS. Number one, they go use BVAS take do accreditation. They go use BVAS take snap. We don't see him for clause 48. He also did for clause 38. He did for clause 64. Section 64 of the Electoral Act. Wetin the law talk say BVAS no be only for accreditation. Say they go use them, snap the results, and they go upload and go collation system. Because wetin they upload go collation system go dey important to take check the results before they announce. So for my lord justices to come talk say no be the intention of BVAS before, I can say that they were misdirected. It be like say they don't really look the intention of the law. They don't look the I beg. See, another thing why I won't even talk for this thing be say, Mr. Kanu, we be Nigerians, we they pay tax. No be so. All of us they pay tax. Many of us they pay tax. Whether you they pay them directly or you don't even know. You know, say when you go buy goods for all these stores, they go add VAT inside, maybe value added tax. You go pay tax. And this money they go get federal government. Now this same money where all of us they pay. Now in Yakubu Mahmoud go meet National Assembly. Say make them give them over 300 billion naira. Make him take put technology for our election. They give them this money for BVAS configuration, for buying of BVAS, so that the BVAS will use and take snap, accredit, and upload the results. So how the court go come look us? Tell us say our 300 billion naira don't enter inside gutter. Because of say the court thinks say BVAS no dey or electoral transmission no dey part of our electoral jurisprudence. Because one of the things where the court also talk, they say the petitioners no prove say what do they call them, electronic upload or transmission, say it is necessary for our election. So it just show that we just decide to waste money. So why we can't even make the new law? You know, say legislators sit down, they pay them sitting allowance, they pay them money, committee stage, all the people where they invite and everything, take past this law. We donate over 300 billion naira for this thing. And everything, he enter inside gutter because court things say, no be that, no be so it's supposed to be. Section 137 of the Electoral Act constitutes say, anybody we won't come for court, come prove say election no good. Say he go prove them, say the principles of the Electoral Act, say they no follow them. Within that place talk, nobody say they no follow the Electoral Act to gongo. Say the principles. So, what will be the principles of the Electoral Act? Now, the question we were supposed to be asked. Number one principle be say to regulate elections, to conduct elections, to make sure say elections they free, fair, and credible. Number three, to make sure say we arrive at the candidates where people don't decide to choose. Number four, create technology. But waiting we can't see. Now another thing now we begin to see like this. Because so now the problem be that. Now the problem.
Okay, all right, Maxwell. Thank you for that very one. Make we look at other this thing we be say he did this time, this hour. We get our own lawyer will be Okutepa and waiting in don't put out that very something as I read in tweet there's something sweet me I go one made them for projector make we foresee how intake talk am keeping the hope alive as we dey talk. And as you dey there when you dey watch us, our principal wey be His Excellency Peter Obi, he don tell us say make we dey keep this hope alive. Na him dey give us the inspiration. Wherever you dey, make you help us to dey keep the hope alive. Like the video and share. Make we foresee as our own lawyer Okuteba son, how him take talk wetin dey happen for that side. But maybe before we project that very one, make we for even see wetin that Baba Ahmed also himself take talk and how he take talk am. But as they still hold on with the gibbering, make we go on with that one. Because our own that Baba Ahmed, he talk something wey be say he sweet me and he continue to dey sweet me. Democracy belongs to the people. Good governance belongs to the people. Okay, let's take this our own Jibril, how he take talk am. He said, no matter what the judiciary decided based on facts, Nigerians know the truth of what happened on the 25th February 2023 in the presidential election in Nigeria. Truth and facts and evidence in proof are poles apart. While courts rely on evidence of fact, truth does not. Nigeria will do itself well if at all times it upholds truth in the running of its affairs. Nigerians know the excruciating pains petitioners go through in the hands of INEC and how pink copies of election results are not always given to agents of parties in most cases. Judgment have been delivered. Justice is different from judgment. Nigeria shall reap the fruit of what is being dished out by those we trust to do what is right. Those who got judgment know the truth in their hearts. Those celebrating know the truth. Truth is constant. By my training, I respect courts. I must respect the decisions of the courts. That is what the rule of law enjoins me to do. But I stand by my conviction with courage for the truth. No baptismal name of legality can make what is not right to become right. Nigerians know the truth. Yes, our own lawyer has spoken, and that's true in the talk. Because deep inside our own hearts, we know say truth dey. Let's take a listen to our own Dati Baba Ahmed, and when take talk, how can we practice and how democracy can be going forward. Let's take a listen.
Real peace is not the absence of violence, it is the presence of justice. We cannot continue to make the job of those destroying Nigeria easy. Each time we come out to tell Nigerians, calm down, let it pass, the more we tell Nigerians to be peaceful, the more the bad elements perfect their instruments and systems of corruption, of constitutional and legal abuses. For how long are we going to continue to do that? In the most advanced democracies, you have human beings chaining themselves to highways because toxic materials are being transported through their territories. This is legal. This is constitutional. This is not violence. For how long are we going to tell Nigerians continue to sit down and be cheated? You are being cheated. Allow yourselves to be cheated because you are Nigerians. It doesn't make sense. And you, the bad elements, continue to do because Nigerians are going to be patient. Governments have fallen in Africa because of the price of bread went up. The entire Arab world, 11, 12 years ago, went up in crisis because a young man burned himself in broad daylight. Anybody waiting to hear call to arms from ourselves will never hear it. We're peaceful people. He will never hear. Anybody who wishes to change what we are saying What I am saying is welcome to try it. I will never call for violence. I will continue to say that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Good governance belongs to the people who can demand it. Dividends of democracy belongs to those who can take it. It is left for Nigerians to do these things I mentioned. There's nothing unconstitutional, nothing illegal about the gentleman you mentioned on the street and millions joining him.
Dividends of democracy belongs to people who can take it. Can we, obedience and well-meaning Nigeria, take the democracy? Can we do things seriously? We have seen from different quarters, we have heard from our own principal, we have heard from different quarters, what are we to do next? They say this democracy is entirely. What are we going to do? We have also heard different things coming out from the Justice Tsammani-led committee, which, of course, we have a video of UNUSA. But before I get to that, Maxwell, what is your reaction to this democracy belongs to the people, good governance belongs to the people, dividends of democracy belong to those of us who understands that we need to take what belongs to us? What is your reaction? Just few words.
These things are not different from the things that I've been saying before now. They are totally not different. I have always shouted it that the very first fundamental of a democratic society is elections, and not just any elections, but free, fair, and credible elections. So definitely, power belongs to the people, and the people exercises this power by going to the polls to decide who should lead them. Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution states that nobody shall take over governmental powers except in a way that has been prescribed by the Constitution. And the Constitution has prescribed elections as the way of taking over governmental powers. Except the people indeed choose who leads them in an election. We cannot say we are practicing democracy. We cannot call ourselves a democratic entity if the very first and fundamental principles of democracy, we don't even keep to it. So I agree that to be democratic, you need to practice democracy. And what we are doing currently is far from the true tenets of democracy. I hope that we can do better.
Okay, yes, thank you. And we had reactions from UNUSA Tanko, spokesman for Labour Party, about what happened. You know, that very day he was in court, he started giving by all the hours. Kudos today, no day easy. Even when we say we stay for her, at least we feel come out, go peace, still put the thing for our ear, do other things. But their own be say they stay down for there, no movement. Hunger go come wire, but we were with that at least now, we feature biscuit and the rest. But anyhow, Sha, he get reactions when they give an interview where we say, as in take react, where the justice, they talk, say, they just dump the whole things on them, say they no bring a credible witness and all that. Let's take a listen to that while we wonder.
Look at some of the reactions, Mr. Tanko. Let's take it one after the other. Some of what the judges said yesterday. One of it is the fact that they complained, or they submitted yesterday, that there were social media attacks. There were some inferences being drawn outside of the court, but evidence were not properly laid and adduced in court to prove the case.
Now, when we made applications that they should televise the proceedings live, right from the beginning, there were applications that the proceedings should be televised live. Now, that will have given an opportunity for Nigerians to see whether we presented the right evidence to the court or not. But on our part, from the Labour Party, we make sure that every processes were recorded and reported live as it's happening in the court, just to give Nigerians a kind of a sense of visuality of what really took place in the court. Now, our judges, yourself and myself and every Nigerian were very much evidence of what happened in Lagos. We saw proof where our voters were intimidated, ballot boxes were snatched, ethnic profiling took place, and that particular issue was presented in that court for Nigerian people to see. But yet, it was we were told that that particular evidence is not enough. It's not enough to invalidate the election. What it simply means is that, but it is enough to show some part of this country that they are not wanted. Or it is enough to show that if you have money, you can manipulate the system.
We don't hear from Yunus Atanko will be say the vexation will be say a day in body no be small. We know how the thing they pain everybody. So when we see say with the para, make we know to verse. Now we'll be say our time don't they give us signal make we for begin the carry our kaya come out for. So before we come out, I know say our principal talk say make we know this way, say make we give hope. But why would they stay for that very hope, and why would they keep the hope alive? I want make una know say una go contribute on everybody go contribute their own. Me tomorrow will be Sunday myself. I go come out, they bring the hope alive. Where you there watch us now, make you for like and share the video. Make other people for know say our principal talk say hope day, and we go push the go say make we know despair. You see Maxwell. I bet make you give us your own say you know the despair and waiting you get for obedience until tomorrow again.
Okay, I know get plenty things to talk apart from the things we don't they talk since. So this case we don't they carry and go Supreme Court. So there's no reason to give up. For those of now we they downcasted because of that judgment, it is normal. And I won't tell you, if you feel down because of that judgment, no thing saying only you. It is very normal. But you know, say we they always feel down so that we go feel come up. Now the reason be that. So now when you feel down, I want me you gather momentum, gather all your energy, come back. May we take the put all eyes on. We never forget them now. The case still there for judiciary, so it is still all eyes on the judiciary. Keep saying whatever you can say. What we saw coming from the Court of Appeal is not a just judgment. We do not accept the judgment. We respect the judgment of the court, but we don't accept that judgment because it does not reflect our law. It does not reflect the true tenets of elections. So, my people, why would I go give up? Small Maxwell like me never give up. Now you won't come give up. So, more will continue to encourage each other. More will continue to put mind for the matter. And I want to tell people say, it is very necessary. More, you know, when we talk, more will do. Not be just to talk. We will stop today, be just citizens, they sit down. We will be artisans, they act. You understand? So I just say, make I tell you this one so that it will be say tomorrow when you go out, you go engage people with these conversations, engage people with these discussions, engage obedience, take build each other confidence together. You understand? So now all I want to say to all everybody. So good night from my end.
Yes, even as you take talk, I mean, get one man will be say for Enugu will be na Reverend Father myself. The person don't begin the act for his own. Producer, even as we get whether in a few seconds make you for sure, make them see say some people they act for their own, then they do their own. So anyone will be say you fit do for your own side, make you for do. All of these things what would they do now to help Nigeria? No be say our own we they do say na make for our own benefit. No. This place where we there will be that family TV, no be business enterprise e be. Now the hope for the sake of say Nigeria don't get to the extent where we need somebody will go be say go change things for here. So if we see for screen now, even you see Maxwell now him be the person will be say he post them as I they look for screen now. He say one man has started the protest will be say a religious man, he's a reverend father, he wasn't on space talking. Join him in Enugu, join him wherever you are. You have the right to do so. Let's talk and more action. Now, so you see Maso TikTok. So until tomorrow, when we come back, we will bring more action where we say obedience they do. When you take action, make you for send to us, make we show people. As our His Excellency Peter Obi take talk, we know despair. We go see they come. Me, Gidigban, tomorrow I go come out. And this page will be saying 700 and something pages for this judgment. I know they sleep. My eye feed they read. But at the same time, I they open them, they read them, and we go they bring them out. Me and Maxwell don't read that one. All the place will be saying then do blunder, where they do all those their erroneous miscalculation and everything will be miss for inside. We go they bring them out one by one. You know, even the link there for our description, I've been for comment section myself. The link where you go see the pages. If you won't read them by yourself, you go see. But we, if you don't get time, we go read them. We go to bring them out for you one by one. Where those errors they judges, I be justice is where they call them. Now human beings like me and you, then get error, then no be God. Now us to they bring them out, and that's why with the go show Supreme Court say error day for this. With all this one, I thank Ona, and God go help all of us as we keep up the hope alive. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.